Stephen Mosteller, please join me on stage. The Panther Award is presented annually to a member of the senior class that has overcome obstacles on their journey to graduation and their pursuit of attending college. The reality is that each of you have overcome some sort of obstacle along your path, so in that sense, the Panther Award is truly a celebration of all of you and your grit and determination. Stephen Mosteller, member of the class of 2021, set to graduate and receive his diploma in only 2 days. He stands here today through the help of his mother, who he has always looked up to and has been a steady rock in his life, a sister who he looked up to in so many ways, and a stepdad that he will never forget. But the journey to this moment has not been easy. When Stephen was 2 years old, his parents divorced. Growing up, Stephen and his sister were oftentimes stuck in the middle of a nasty custody battle. Fights, court hearings, being pulled in so many directions, it became all too familiar. Unfortunately, so did his father's addictive habits. When I met with Stephen recently, he shared how he understands now the size of his father's mental health struggles. But back then, it struck him as just really bad addictions. While the tension between his biological parents persisted, Stephen's mom began a relationship with a man that Stephen refers to as his stepdad, even though they were technically never married. This new fatherly figure in his life will play of great importance as this story unfolds. Back to the home. An already nasty situation between Stephen's parents only worsened when there was a new man in the picture. When I asked Stephen about these days, he responded with one word: tough. So tough that he remembers one night the police showed up at their house because the confrontation between his dad and his stepdad was so bad that a gun was drawn. Tough, to say the least. Trauma, divorce, addiction, violence. As you can imagine, school started to become challenging for Stephen. He succeeded all through elementary school, but in middle school, he started to act out. All of the things that had disrupted his childhood were now being revealed through his behavior at school. It got really bad during his 9th grade year here at West Ottawa High School. 18 referrals, 2 fights, frequent trips to see his assistant principal. He wanted to be done, drop out of school. As a matter of fact, he ended his freshman year in suspension. Stephen mentions his freshman year as his lowest point without hesitation. So how did he get here today? What changed? For as awful as his 9th grade year was, there were 2 significant events that happened that inspired Stephen to overcome the challenges. First, he remembers watching his older sister graduate this year, right on this stage. He felt proud, but he also felt compelled. I can do that, he told himself. The second and perhaps biggest event that happened that year is not as uplifting. Remember the fights and the suspensions? Remember the fatherly figure, stepdad, who had been a part of Stephen's life for years? The man that he remembers vividly going to the airport and watching the planes land and take off while sharing a bucket of Popeyes. You see, his stepdad was also contending with a terminal illness that freshman year. So let's turn back the clock. Stephen, fresh off a physical confrontation at school, gets sent home on suspension. He gets home and his stepdad, weak, tired, and sick, tears up. The man that Stephen only knew as a macho man started to cry as he told Stephen that he expected better. He told Stephen that he could do so much more. This memory will never be forgotten by Stephen. He identifies it as the single biggest reason why he turned things around. Only a couple days after that memorable moment, Stephen, still at home on suspension, found his stepdad laying on the floor of the bathroom. He quickly called his mother, and they were able to get to his stepdad to the bed and call 911, but it was too late. Stephen's stepdad passed away while he was suspended. Trauma, divorce, addiction, violence, and now death. Stephen Mosteller is set to graduate in 2 days. A mother who has always been by his side, a sister who is like a best friend, a stepdad who still motivates him through memory. No behavior referrals since 9th grade, AP courses, a growing love for science thanks to his science teachers here at WO, and now he is off to Michigan Tech University after earning the Presidential Scholarship. Stephen knows the impact of the Panther Award winner. He vividly remembers talking to the recipient that graduated with his sister. He knows that many of you sitting here today have your own messy story, and he is certain there are underclassmen sitting in class right now who want to drop out, who want to be done. But Stephen also knows that you, just like him, can overcome the obstacles and the challenges. Stephen recently told me that we are not defined by our mistakes or our low points, but rather what we do after, how we respond, and if we choose to defeat our missteps. So before your 2021 Panther Award winner returns to his seat, we're going to do a little activity to symbolize all this. Stephen, I printed out a behavior referral from your 9th grade year. Well, let me read it first. So it's all good. So I'm going to read it, and then he's going to rip it even harder. On October 19th, 2017, during passing time between 4th and 5th hour, Stephen and another student were viewed on video surveillance engaging in an altercation in the math hallway on the 2nd floor of the North High School. Multiple punches were thrown. Stephen is suspended for 10 days. He may return to school on November 2nd, 2017. He is not permitted on school property during the duration of the suspension. Stephen, let us know what you think about all those referrals in 9th grade. Your 2021 Panther Award winner, Stephen Mosteller.